He's going to join the Phillies broadcast team, and he was introduced today at a press conference. John Kruk, he joins us now here on the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN with the Phillies 7 days away from Clearwater Beach, Clearwater, Florida. Krucky, how you been, pal?
Doing great. Doing absolutely fantastic.
Well, welcome back to the area, number one. Are you looking forward to you getting down to Clearwater for the spring training portion? You going to head down to Clearwater?
Well, I have to go up. I live south of there, so I will be up there probably 5 to 7 games, probably.
Nice. That's one of the.
And I'm sure Bo is going to kill me about coming and spending some time with him, but he might get told no.
Hey, being in Clearwater, there's worse places to be in Florida. They got a great, they got a great facility and campus down there.
Yeah, it's a lot different than when we were playing. We had to do our first 2 weeks there at the Carpenter complex there, and then we'd have to go to Jack Russell, which was probably about 5 miles away for when we started games.
I'm just saying, my first year covering the Phillies down there was the last year of Jack Russell, and the difference in just the atmosphere and the way that spring training has changed because of that ballpark is like night and day.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many now, so many of these minor league ballparks, spring training complexes. If you haven't never been to Arizona to see some of their facilities there, it is just unbelievable. The places that are being built out there for the teams coming to Arizona. The sad thing is they're trying to entice more teams from Florida to come that have spring training in Florida to come down to Arizona. To travel so much easier and all that stuff. But the Phillies complex is as good as any. I mean, it is just – that field is just incredible.
Yeah, it's really cool down there. John Kruk's with us. He's part of the Phillies broadcast team now, and obviously you were with ESPN nationally, and now you're going to be back with one of your former teams here. And you said it today during your press conference, like when you play for the Phillies, it seems like anybody who plays in this city, they always seem to kind of migrate their way back here. And then this has been something the Phillies have kind of been targeting you, and it seemed to work out this time. And it seems like you're coming in at a good time when the team is finally kind of turning the corner a little bit after, they've been in this rebuilding. They're still kind of there, but it seems like the Phillies are coming back around a little bit.
Yeah, it is a good time. And you're right. We've been talking about this for, a couple years now. ESPN kind of loosened their stance a little bit about letting their guys do, local games, local broadcasts for games. And so these talks actually started probably a couple of years ago, I would think. And, I just wasn't ready to do all the stuff I was doing for ESPN and then come, do games too. But this just worked out perfect. And I couldn't be happier to be back. But yeah, you're right. Rebuilding, but, anytime you have that young pitching and, from everything I've read, the number one minor league system in all baseball, you got to think that the future's bright for the Phillies, and it shouldn't be too much longer.
John Kruk with us here on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. Now, Krucky, how much have they told you that you'll be involved, and how different do you think it'll be being in a booth versus studio shows?
Well, I mean, I did games, the last few years on Sunday for ESPN, but it's baseball. You're watching and talking baseball. I do it every time we watch a game with my son or with friends are over or whatever. We talk baseball, and that's I don't see it being any different. It's just. I don't know if I see things differently than maybe others do or whatever, but if I was always told that during a game, if you can teach something during the game, one thing during the game, that people who are casual fans or even diehard fans but haven't really played a lot of baseball in their life can learn, then you've done a good job. So, hopefully we can entertain some fun and humor and hopefully educate too. If I can remember what the heck I'm doing.
John Kruk with us. You mentioned Larry Bowa. How much have you seen from afar, and how much? What's your review been of the job that Pete McCannon's been able to do so far? Specifically using that word teaching, he's had to do a lot of that, right?
Yeah. Well, I got to play golf with both those gentlemen in October, and it's the first time I've ever really got to spend a lot of time with Pete. He's an impressive man, and I think he's the absolute right guy for what they're going through. He's very patient. He understands that there's going to be mistakes made. They understand that the offense at times is going to struggle mightily, but you can never tell by speaking to him that that the players would get any vibe that this is disappointing to him. Larry's Larry, and the great thing about him is he hasn't changed. He's intense. If there is a change in Larry, he's a little bit more patient than normal, than he has been in the past. And he understands, that there's some there's talent there as far as the young pitching goes, but there's also some talent on the offensive end, and there's talent in their minor league system, and who knows, in another year or two, a couple big splashes in the free agent market, and you could see this team being good for a while.
Yeah, there's definitely an uptick in talent that had they replenished a lot after that 2008 group kind of has now moved on, Crucky. And what about this year's team? I know that you haven't been around there all that much and, haven't really probably dove into your notes or anything yet. But coming into this team, what is something that you're looking forward to, calling these games for this particular team this year?
Well, the progression of the young hitters, Tommy Joseph, in limited at-bats, proved that he's got some power. I talked to Bruce Bochy. I asked him about him, and he said the bat plays in the big leagues. He said we just didn't have a position for him, and that's why we had to trade him. They have a pretty good catcher in San Francisco where Tommy was behind, and Buster Posey that kind of blocked him a little bit. But Bruce Bochy said I hate having to lose that bat, but sometimes you have to do what's best for the kid and not for the team. So I'm looking forward to him, and of course Franco and Herrera. I think they have an immense amount of talent, but that's the hardest thing for young players is can you do it for 6 months? Herrera was tearing it up, thinking he had a chance to win a batting title, and then it hits, man. Sometimes it hits, especially if you're losing, you're not playing well as a team. That can grind on you. But I think he proved that he could be an everyday player, and Franco, I think the sky's the limit. But some people I've talked to, they said that sometimes he has lapses in concentration. And I said, well, what young player doesn't?
Right.
My gosh, you're going through a million things are going through your head. Holy crap, I'm in the big leagues. Holy crap, I'm hitting third in the big leagues. Oh my gosh, now we have to try to win. I mean, there's a lot going on in a young player's head. So hopefully, like I said, those two guys progress. Freddie Galvis is going to be, Freddie Galvis, catch the ball, whatever. But those three guys, Tommy Joseph too, that's what I'm looking forward to, along with their young pitching.
John Kruk on with us. He's joining the Phillies broadcast team this season. You can watch him tonight on Philly Sports Talk on CSN. That's at 5 o'clock, so we'll let you go get ready for your appearance there, Krucky. And, of course, we are 97.3 ESPN South Jersey, which means down the shore. So we look forward to seeing you down here in the area as time moves on. And welcome back, we say. But like you said, once you're a Philly, you're always a Philly and always part of the family. And we appreciate you joining us today on the Sports Bash.
Well, thank you for having me.